All right.
All right. Let's go with a little MechWarrior Tactics. I'm playing against Niko Snow from IGP.
Hello.
Want to go with a heavy lance or a lighter lance, Niko?
Let's do the starter lance. Because I still don't have a heavy lance ready on this build. But I do have a special surprise.
Let's go with Ice Hell. I like that new map. I'll do 15-minute turns just in case we run into any hiccups. We'll have time to reload if we need to.
Sounds good to me. Alright, loading in.
And obviously just a reminder for everybody watching, we're still in closed beta, so there's bound to be a few hiccups.
Yes, indeed.
It's been running pretty smooth lately. The last few builds have been really nice.
How about you start a AI game with your, Oh, never mind. There we go.
Did it go? Alright.
It just needed the Fawn's method of tap on the computer.
Do something! That's the only drawback to this new map, is you start practically on top of each other because it's a little on the small side.
Yeah, this is going to be a good brawling map down the line.
Yeah.
But definitely a hell for snipers. So to those just tuning in who have never heard of MechWarrior Tactics, it's a turn-based strategy game. Lance versus Lance. We have both PvP and PvAI. PvE. Game is currently in closed beta, so this is a special preview event, special taste for those who have been keeping up with the news on this game.
Right off the bat there, because luck of the draw, Niko's spider ended up right in the range of my stalker. It did not end well.
Not at all.
Alright, though I have a feeling that this time around it's going to be my stalker that it doesn't end up well for. And for people who are thinking that, you know, it's a web-based game, so you can't get decent graphics off of it, you know, I want you to look at the detail you can see on these models if you zoom in all the way.
Oh man, it's beautiful. The Unity engine really gives us an advantage here. and therefore. Alright, your stalker got lucky. A lot of those missed.
The double blind movement that MechWarrior Tactics uses makes it a lot different challenge than what you see in like MechWarrior Online, where you see where they're going, you can try and plan your shots that way. It's much more of a kind of, you got to guess and see where they're going to go and hope you guess better than they do as far as where to plan your movement to.
Pretty much. One of the aspects I love about this, though, is it's a throwback not just to the tabletop, but also to the card game.
And then as Niko just mentioned in chat, we're doing this to support the Extra Life charity drive for Children's Hospital. There's a whole bunch of gamers doing it today. It's a 25-hour gaming marathon, and Niko was great in helping me get permission from IGP to stream MechWarrior Tactics for everybody as a sneak preview of what's been going on in the beta, and also, you know, to hang out with me for part of the day-to-day in MechWarrior Online earlier and MechWarrior Tactics now. So I really appreciate you doing this, Niko.
Oh, it's my pleasure. This is the kind of event that I really take to heart, and I couldn't not be involved in, even if I wanted to, you know? It's something I care about. Specifically, your story of why you wanted to do it was something that really touched me.
Yeah, and what Niko's referring to, and it's linked in the topic that he just linked in chat, my daughter had to go and undergo a very serious surgery earlier this year, and all the folks at Children's Hospital were absolutely amazing in dealing with it, both in making sure that, you know, my 7-year-old daughter understood what was going on and presenting stuff in a fashion so as to, you know, minimize the scare factor to her, and also being able to deal with, you know, my wife and myself, two overly nervous and scared parents with their young daughter going through a very risky surgery, or what could be risky surgery. So the folks down there were great in dealing with it, so more than happy to help out with this to try and raise a little money for them to help them continue to do the great work they are doing, and raising money to help them try and defeat some of the childhood diseases that are out there that they're researching cures for, like all the various cancers and everything like that. They're the kind of the front line and looking out for our children.
And after that, I can't see why anybody wouldn't want to be involved in something like this. I had never even heard of Extra Life before you brought it to my attention. So, can you tell us a little more about that for those who don't know about this charity event?
So Extra Life actually started, and I wasn't fully aware of it until this year either, when some other gamers that I'm friends with were talking about participating in it this year, so I did a little research on it. It was founded by the Sarcastic Gamers back in 2008 in response to a little girl at the local children's hospital to them ending up passing away after having a terminal cancer, but she really touched the lives of that group, and they went through and, you know, spent time trying to cheer her up and take her mind off things, and so it initially started just locally, but then they worked with the whole Children's Miracle Network system to branch it out so they could support any hospital in the Children's Miracle Network, and if there isn't one in your immediate area, you can just pledge to support Children's Hospital. I'm supporting the local branch here in Colorado because obviously that's the one that we spend our time in. But it's a great way to, you know, raise a little bit of money. All the money raised goes to Children's Hospital via the Extra Life organization. They're at extra-life.org if you want to check them out some more and get some more information on it. But they've been doing this for years. From talking to some of the people that I know are doing it this year, they had a blast doing it last year. It's a good excuse to hang out, play video games all day with your friends while supporting a good cause.
I can't see any argument against that.
Yeah, even my wife was hard pressed to find a reason to tell me that it wasn't a good thing to do to spend all day playing video games, since we didn't have anything else really going on today. So if you can get the wife's buy off on it, it's a good thing.
Amen. Beautifully said.
For anybody on the stream who might not be aware, Niko is one of the community managers over at Infinite Game Publishing, who are publishing both MechWarrior Tactics and MechWarrior Online, which went fully out of beta earlier this year and had a great launch party. Didn't go to the launch party, but I watched all the streaming of it that I could. And we were playing that a little bit earlier. And it's great to see a return of the BattleTech and MechWarrior franchise in such a strong way between these two games. So, Niko's one of the lucky guys that gets to deal with BattleTech all day and get paid for it.
You don't know the half of it. One of the reasons why I ended up getting signed on to this job was because I was a big BattleTech fan growing up. I was playing MechWarrior Tactics, or MechWarrior 2. I was playing BattleTech card game, BattleTech tabletop.
Yeah, that's just nice to be able to get a job doing something that you have such fun doing. And being able
It really is.
The MechWarrior community is very
It's
passionate.
one of the finest. It's passionate, yeah, but it's also one of the finest in terms of its passion. I've dealt with communities in the past that are really, really love their game to the extent that, well, they get a little bit overexcited. Is the nicest way I can put it sometimes, but then, without those types, I wouldn't be around, I guess.
Passion is good, and even the complaints about the game are generally coming from a good spot and just wanting to see the game, improve and do better.
Oh yes, and that's one thing I think devs, players, publishers alike all need to appreciate more, that they're all on the same side with. We all want the game to be the best it can be, to be successful, to be well known, to win awards. I mean, BattleTech is, it's been around for well over, 2 decades, almost 3 decades now, no?
Yeah, it's just about 30 years. Oof, now I really feel old.
Oh boy.
Oh, I've got a a rogue tooltip that won't come off my mouse pointer long enough for me to click on anything, so I have to refresh it real quick.
I'll poke the QA team on that one. And to viewers just tuning in who haven't checked out the forums yet, we've got a nice update coming up tomorrow too. So that's another interesting aspect of this game, as it's browser-based. It's, well, we're still in closed beta, so we encounter issues like this rogue tooltip one, and the great news is that it's easy enough to just refresh and jump right back into your match, as it's turn-based.
Yeah, and the turn-based aspect is really nice too, because if you're a busy working individual, which lots of the people that grew up with BattleTech on the tabletop are, you may not have time to sit down and slug out, an hour-long match, although game speed for the most part doesn't end up running a full hour. But you can set it for a 24-hour turn, take your turns when you get the chance, and not miss out on anything because you happen to have to step away from the game for a little bit.
Precisely. Actually, I love the 24-hour match aspect, because it reminds me almost of the sort of long-distance chess games you could play with people back in the day.
Yeah, and it's like the old play-by-mail, play-by-email style games too that were big for a while.
Oh, heck yeah. So how did you first get involved in MechWarrior? How did you first get interested in the game?
So I actually played it on the tabletop when it first, well, not when it first came out, because I didn't play it when it was Battle Droids, but when it turned into BattleTech, I started playing it there and with a bunch of guys I was going to high school with. So I played all the MechWarrior games on the computer since then. Heard that MechWarrior Online was coming out. Jumped in as a founder to that as soon as I had the opportunity, and heard from there that MechWarrior Tactics was coming out. So I've jumped into that community, full bore, because I'm not the best at the shooter style like MechWarrior Online is, and this to me feels more like tabletop, which is really great, and I love that feeling that it's it's tabletop on the computer. The community has been great from day one on the MechWarrior Tactics site, so I jumped in with both feet on that, and helping out as much as I can there now since you guys made me a volunteer moderator. But the MechWarrior community, both MechWarrior Online, MechWarrior Tactics, they're fun to interact with, and I think it'll keep people playing both games for a long time.
I think it was Jordan Wiseman who once said, robots, giant robots in outer space, shooting and destroying each other, never get them. I'm paraphrasing, but I think that was something along the lines.
Yeah, I mean, who can get tired of shooting at giant robots with your friends? You know, now if those friends you used to play with, in the case of people who used to play tabletop, live in a different city or different state or even a different country, you can still, with MechWarrior Tactics, sit down and play with them. It's, you know, great that you guys have been able to adapt it to the point where, you know, it's a smooth playing experience. It reminds everybody of the tabletop, while at the same time putting, you know, kind of a unique spin on it by combining it with the card game aspects. And I've never been a big fan of card games, but I think you guys did a really good job. The team's done a really good job integrating that to where, you know, you don't really mind the card game part. It doesn't feel like a clunky add-on that somebody was forced on there.
No, it's more like almost resemblant to an inventory system in many ways, I find.
Yeah, this is what I have to put my lances together with. Here's the pilots I have to work with. It's all nicely done, and with it being, you know, free to play when it comes out, you know, there's not a huge barrier to entry or any kind of, you know, huge, oh, I'm falling behind now because I didn't start playing right away. It'll be easy for anybody to jump in and pick up.
We've got some nice improvements to the tutorial system that first tutorial was introduced recently, and we've got some more improvements coming to it down the line.
And I liked the tutorial when it went through it after it was initially added. It had its quirks, but, you know, first run through a new system, it's gonna have it. But I think it did a good job of, you know, explaining the basics enough to get somebody up and running if they'd never played tabletop BattleTech.
Totally. We're making some, or we had some changes coming to the script of that too. Oof. Lone Stalker.
That thing just will not go down.
I patted him with some extra armor.
Oh, and see, I've had one too many recent issues with the armor system still being beta. I try not to mess too much with my armor at the moment. Sometimes it works really well, and other times I've found I've got a naked mech, which
feels a little naked.
Yeah, you know, you go out there, great, I'm ready to. Oh wait, don't look at me funny. Got no armor, everything will explode.
Honestly, as somebody who used to work in quality assurance, this is one of the aspects I love about closed beta in my job is we're introducing testing to the players.
Well, I love it. I know people complain about there being bugs even in beta games, but it's just sheer scale, right? You've got a QA department that's going to have a set number of people in it, X number of devs on top of that. So they're only going to be able to play so many combinations to find stuff. You expand that to a portion of your player base, they're going to try things you didn't think of, and they're going to have more time to try different combinations and expose some of the stuff that may not have been caught initially.
Exactly. I mean, we only have so many different configurations for hardware as well. That's one of the hardest aspects of PC testing. When you're dealing with consoles, every system is exactly the same, but in PC, everybody's got something different. Everybody's got their own third-party applications. Everybody's got maybe different video card, different CPU. And it really makes it interesting for testing, because you find some really out there bugs as well, like random antivirus causes strange interaction with the game, and you deal with that and fix that. It's always an interesting rush. It's one of the aspects of the job I love. Every day feels slightly different. Victory!
Yay!
Well done.
And I like this new results screen when that was added in. I see a lot of potential coming from that new results screen.
Oh yes.
Founders bonus, potential for premium time if that gets added. A lot of good stuff could be on there. Oh look, I even leveled up. I'm rank 2 now.
And you'll notice that there's something a little extra in your wallet.
I see that I can go buy new goodies. So I guess it's a good time to show off the store.
The Mech Lab, yeah.
So because I leveled up in that last match to rank 2, which now has names too, I get to pick from a card from one of 3 paths, and when you max out a path, you get an ultra rare card from that path, which will have different bonuses on it, and you can't get it any other fashion. So it gives you incentive to keep playing and to level up, whether it's in player versus player matches or versus AI matches, depending on what you have time for and what your preference is. So I'm going to take the close assault path here.
I had to smile when you mentioned the level names.
I didn't even notice that before. So that's nice.
I helped with picking those.
So we'll hop into the store here and spend some of the extra cash I've got.
While you're checking out your store, I'll also build together better lens.
So the store's got a couple different sections. C-Bells is what it is. That's going to be the real money currency that you can buy. So if you're a MechWarrior online fan, that's going to be equivalent to the MC from that game. Reasonable prices, I think. Maybe, we'll see how those get tweaked. These are all still beta, so don't worry too much about the pricing that you're seeing here. Premium section of the store isn't in yet. Neither is the vault. So I'm not sure what'll be there, but you can assume premium will be where you buy premium time. Vault.
Yes, indeed.
Vault based on the description in the FAQ for the founders. is going to be where, like, the themed packs and any seasonal things. So, like, if they do a new year to celebrate us the game transitioning from 3025's timeline to 3026's timeline, right? Maybe they do a New Year's Eve pack that's got, you know, unique paint jobs and decals in it. That would be a time limited thing. The FAQ for the founder says if you've got a premium account, you can go back and get those past packs as well as a bonus for having a premium account, which is kind of nice. I think it means if you know, were traveling or something and missed a limited time deal, you've got another shot at it.
Yeah, we want to try and, you know, be as supportive to the players as we can, especially since we're free to play, and well, for now we're in closed beta still, so only a lucky few will get in for free if you manage to get a beta key. Those who are watching right now, please stay tuned, because I'm going to be dropping some more beta keys throughout this session. So you can also support us by joining with the Founders program. Sorry, you were saying?
I was just going to say, we're sitting in the featured section of the store, which actually has got what Niko was just talking about, the Founders program. Similar to what Piranha Games and IGP did for MechWarrior Online, you can get in there, get yourself some unique skins for open beta and launch, and, you know, also secure yourself a slot in the closed beta to kind of get in there, get your feedback into the devs about what you like, don't like. And they are listening. They've changed quite a bit over the course of the closed beta so far. They interact with us, they jump in, and they in the conversations. We've played against them. They're paying attention, they're trying to make it better, and they're trying to make sure that when the game comes out, it's, you know, as bug free as it can be and as feature rich as it can be, and fun. Obviously fun's the key aspect, and it definitely is that. So then the stack section, that's where you buy the cards, and all your cards have got your pilots, your armor, your weapons, your mech chassis, your decals, everything could ever need to build a lance or a specific mech is coming out of the cards. 4 different tiers of cards as far as the number of the packs that they're in. The veteran stack, 8 different cards that are coming there, 6 common, 2 uncommon, and a chance at those cards upgrading to the next level of rarity. You can see you can buy them for either C-bills or scrap. Scrap's the free in-game currency that you earn for playing. So that way you'll be able to, you know, you're not shut behind a paywall. You can always get in there and play and buy more. It's just a matter of spending that time to get in there and get more stacks. So I'll pick up a couple of veteran stacks to get some more chassis out of that and heat sinks. And then as you go up to each level of stack, they become more expensive, but they also have a different level of cards. For example, the commander stacks, the top level package right now, it comes with 9 cards, 5 uncommon, 4 rare, and again a chance at everything upgrading, and you've got a guaranteed foil in there. And the foil cards receive bonuses from the pilots. So you'll have a pilot that, and I'll jump over the pilot screen here in a second, I'll show that, but there'll be pilots that'll give every foil card equipped on their mech a different bonus. And it'll be, you know, plus a little bit to hit, plus a little bit of damage. Most of them, the bonuses are all very situational anyway. You got to be standing on a higher elevation, you need to be in water, stuff like that, which helps prevent them, in my opinion at least, from being too overpowering. So as we flip through the cards I bought, I got a couple more chassis, got some SRMs, got a pilot, and as you can see here, this is what I was talking about. All the foil cards that he has on his mechs will pick up a +10 to hit while he's in a heavy woods hex. If he's not in a heavy woods hex, they don't get the bonus. So it encourages you to use the terrain as part of your plan while you're fighting.
That's right. There's elevation, there's cover, there's many aspects of the tabletop version that players will love to see.
And I'll show off customization here real quick. To customize a chassis, you can either click on one you've already built and go ahead and redo it. I'll do a blank one. So you just click on an empty square. It brings up a list of the chassis that you've got, the mech bodies that you've got, sorted by rarity. Stock mechs can't be customized. And in the current build, the uncommon mechs can't either. So really you're looking at just the rare mechs for customization. Ultra rare has limited customization. They'll have some equipment on them that can't be taken off currently. So let's grab a catapult because they got good options. So it starts empty, telling me that I've got no MechWarrior assigned to it. Right. With no MechWarrior, you can't do much of anything. So I will just
Yep, we don't have cyborgs. We need a man in the machine. Or a lady.
We'll drop Ruby Lewis in, primarily because she's the catapult's a heavy mech chassis, and one of her bonuses is that heavy mechs gain +1 damage for missiles. So not overpowering, but if the mech's loaded up with LRM 15s or LRM 10s and they score a good couple of hits, that extra little bit of damage can kind of help. And you can see her other bonuses. SRM's equipped on it. If the enemy's within 2 hexes, get a bonus to hit. And then all foil cards in here, if I'm attacking an assault mech, would get another 10% crit chance. And the pilot rarity increases your CV by this percent here, which in this case of this card is plus 20%. So then we move over to the next screen to customize on, and that's the weapons. A little different from previous incarnations in that there's no hard points like MechWarrior Online, but it's also not quite as freeform as the tabletop. You have crit clusters of them where the available crit slots are broken up into different sized chunks to help preserve the flavor of that mech. And also it prevents some of the weirdness that you can build if you've got flat out, free reign like you can on the tabletop. So
yeah, so basically some weapons are limited by what hard points you can put them on, and that's one of the balancing factors we've added to this game.
Alright, you can see as I've added in these missile weapons, they're all kind of flashing red around a little yellow caution sign and a picture of bullets. And that's to let me know that I've equipped weapons that require ammunition, and I have not equipped any ammunition, which is something I want to rectify before using this chassis in battle, because not having any ammo means you can't really do much. So they do try and make sure that they're providing that assistance to new players who might not be as familiar with the construction rules, to make sure you're not leaving out anything that you absolutely have to have.
Yep. To those unfamiliar with BattleTech and MechWarrior, energy weapons are pretty much the only ones you can run without any form of ammunition.
Let's throw a couple of energy weapons.
To those
on
wondering, you can also at some point maybe point out the decals, because we have decorative customization as well.
Alright, so if we pop over here, alright, so this is the ammo tab, and they're all showcased by the little icons at the top. And that's where I was dragging the ammo from. Next off is the armor, where you can adjust the armor coverage in each location. Your front, for the areas that have front and rear armor, those totals can't exceed 100%. So you can't have, 100% in the rear and 100% in the front as well. If you need to add extra heat sinks, that's this wrench icon. And then the last one is what Niko's just talking about, the paint and stickers and decals. So if I take my paint, drop it on the paint one, you can see that the mech picks up that pattern. The decals can be stuck on pretty much any slot on the mech, and you can see it'll pop up. That's one of the nice things about the customization in here, is the display model will change as you're making your changes. So as you're adding and removing weapons, you'll see those weapons get added and removed from the chassis. And then if you've got a paint pattern, you drop it in the pattern, and that one, it's a little hard to see, but you can see the scales show up on the top half of the chassis. So if we drop on the stripes, you can see stripes showing up. Put the scales back on. Then after you're happy with how it is, you can name it. Hit accept, and that'll save everything as you've built it. And then if you wanted to drop it into lance, you just drag it off on the side here into an empty slot on your lance, and then you've now added that one to your lance, and you're ready to drop with it in a battle, either against another player or against the AI. Alright, ready, Niko?
Not quite yet.
Alright.
Why don't you show off the AI's capabilities a little bit, because that might be a nice taste for some new viewers.
Alright, I will take my starter lance up against the AI. And let's pick, we'll show off Jungle Rumble. And as I was saying earlier, the verse AI matches are really nice. If you're time limited and you just want to get a quick game in, you don't think you've got time to go through a full game with a player, because those turns are automatically, take as much time as you want. So they're nice on both ends of the spectrum, right? If you've got short for time and you want to go through and get a quick game in, you can do that, and it'll potentially go faster than against another player. And at the other end of the spectrum, if you're just learning and you want some of that extra time to go through and spend more time looking at your weapon bonuses and seeing how you activate them, trying different strategies against the AI, because there's no maximum limit on that turn, you could sit there and plan a turn out for an hour and not have to worry about the guy on the other end going, come on, take your turn already, and getting impatient with you. because the AI has tons of patience.
Oh, does it ever? We're looking forward to some improvements to it as well. Pretty much every aspect of this game is still under heavy work, and we're really proud of that. Because as it is now, it's fun as heck already.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a nice awesome I'm putting together for this next match we're gonna have.
Nice. Yeah, I know that in the beta forums, patch day is like Christmas every time it comes around. Everybody's rushing to read the notes and jump in and try out all the new changes. So this map is actually the first map that the MechWarrior Tactics team ever showed off in the gameplay videos and teasers and initial streams when they were making the rounds at like Gen Con last year and at some of those events. So it's the most finished of the maps, I think. And it's nice. It's kind of like the ice map in the extent that you can have a unit end up in range of the other force at times, but that's not necessarily horrible because you can kind of plan around it and just hope that it's not the mech you were counting on carrying you to victory.
There's always the random factor involved in this game.
Yeah, if you've got a mech, you know, carrying ammo for your autocannons or your missiles, there's always the chance that, you know, a critical hit could hit that ammo and detonate it, and you're done in round 2 with a mech that you thought would have great survivability because of how much time you spent tweaking it. And then you can go the other extreme and just have a mech that you think is going to do great and have you end up missing everything.
And even occasionally you can have a spider save the day.
So you can see on this one, as I try and target the AI's Hunchback, even though it's in range, I can't hit it because there's intervening terrain between me and it. In this case, it's all the various tree hexes that are there. So you can, you know, help avoid getting hit by hiding behind trees and hills, and even in trees, because you can get a bonus for standing inside the trees. In the normal BattleTech rules, that those trees can provide a little bit of a 2-hit modifier for the guys shooting at you. And for those wondering, the game, while it is browser-based, it does have a full screen mode, but it does funky things to my broadcasting software. It all starts going in and out. Don't know which side that's a bug on, so I've full screened the browser, which is as big as I can go right now. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to see anything. You see it dynamically updates the 2-hit that I've got as I turn this mech to where all of its weapons can come in bare or not. So like right now I've got 3 of my weapons that I can't fire at the enemy spider, but as I rotate it updates to show me, okay, hey, now they're facing the right direction, go nuts. And if I hold down the control key as I go over these, it'll show you the different 2-hit modifiers that I'm getting right now, you know, both from my movement, the target's movement, and any terrain that's impacting it. And the scrap value of the card, which I'm not really sure I need in the middle of the match, but it's there. And then you can see that playing the AI, while similar to playing a person, is also different in the AI, you know, right now isn't as aggressive as another player would be. It's still fun, it's still a good way to practice and try out new weapon loadouts too. But I know that, you know, I personally prefer going up against other players right now because it's a little bit, you know, more of a challenge than going against the AI. But the AI has had some, you know, improvements along the way as well, and I'm sure it'll continue to get improved.
So in those few minutes that you've been playing the AI, I managed to put together a nice 6,000 CV lance.
Nice. And one of the other nice things about MechWarrior Tactics is because you can have multiple lances going, you can actually be engaged in more than one match at a time. So I could I could leave this match, start a match against Niko again, and actually alternate back and forth between the two if I wanted to, taking turns against both.
Precisely.
Which is nice because it lets you get a little bit more out of your game time if you've got the lances to do it.
And the more you rank up, the more lances you get.
So you could have one lance that you're taking 24-hour turn timers with against a friend of yours that lives cross country, and at the same time another lance that you're doing 5-minute random matches with.
Another aspect of this I love is you can actually divide your mech's fire between several opponents if you so desire.
And some of the cards actually provide a bonus if you're doing that. Some of the weapons will have what's currently listed as a split fire bonus, where if you break up your fire, you can receive a small modifier to help encourage that, whether it's a small crit bonus or a small 2-hit bonus. So the card aspect of it again comes into play to really help encourage different tactics and what you might normally try in a situation, just to see if you can activate that situational bonus on the card and get a little bit extra out of it. You can see when you target an enemy mech, you can get a little indicator for how damage it's doing. So you can see on this commando, I've done a pretty good job of beating up the left side of it. I can check the pilot condition, whether or not they've got any tactics equipped. I can see what weapons are on there. If they're destroyed, there'll be a nice little red X through the weapon to show you that. So there's plenty of information at your disposal as you're playing to help you plan your tactics around, you know, hey, look, this mech's only got 10 points of armor left. I don't need everybody in to focus fire at once. Just one mech can probably go on that one. So you definitely want to keep an eye on stuff like that as you're planning, just to, you know, not necessarily get yourself in a bad situation where you think that, oh, you've got to go after their hunchback because it's got the most weapons left. When you look at it, it's got hardly any armor left. You can, you know, move on to another target and just use one of your lighter mechs to finish that one off.
The alpha strike button is so handy.
Especially against the AI. As long as you don't risking pushing that heat too high to where you're risking that ammo explosion.
It's one thing for newbies to note is we do have the heat scale.
Yep, over here on the left.
All of your classic penalties are in there.
Goes up to shutdown risk at the 30 heat. Different modifiers to fire, minus a certain number of movement points. You know, the chance of shutdown increases as you're going up the scale. The tabletop movement requirements are in for going through water, changing terrain, all that kind of stuff holds true to the tabletop experience, which is, you know, nice for people that are familiar with it, easy to learn if you're not familiar with it. So you just saw an ammo explosion go off there.
Yeah. It's one thing we really do try and stick to the tabletop as best we can with this game. We've got a huge stack of the BattleTech books over in the quality assurance department. We've got a few fellows here whose one of our main responsibilities is to try and make sure that the lore is respected as best we can. We consider ourselves stewards. Oh, that Hunchy is not going to have a good day.
No. Of course, my spider's down to one leg, so good thing it can still jump. Gotta get that stalker closer. And so you can see even on smaller maps, you can stay out of the way of the bigger guns if you're, you know, staying at the edges of the map. I've got to walk my stalker across the entire map, and since I'm in the water to take advantage of the extra coolant from that, it's going to take me a while to get to where I can bring all my weapons into range. By then, the lighter mechs may have finished everybody off. Since I highlight it, tells me the terrain, the different elevation levels of the terrain. So like all the water hexes are -1. You can see that these hills are 1, 2, or 4 elevation levels up. So you can use that when you're trying to figure out if where you're moving to is going to block your line of sight or block your opponent's line of sight. And you can see from looking at the cards down here at the bottom of the screen, you get a quick indicator of each unit's health from both teams. My poor spider, the health bar is down to the red, so it's not going to take much more. But it most likely won't need to, as the stalker's finally getting close enough to bring its heavier weapons into bear.
Five.
Will welcome their 4 SP to the party in grand fashion by alpha striking it from the stalker. Poor spider keeps getting worse and worse. I'll try and finish this up, so I'm not going to move anybody. See if we can finish this up real quick. see all that scrolling damage come off when you're focus firing, you know, an entire lance on one mech. You can see the heat modifiers to my aim have kicked in because this mech's got a lower chance to hit than it did last round. So we'll only use a portion of the weapons to try and get that heat back under control. And I love the death animations. I think those are so cool. So you just watch the entire mech explode at the seams.
Oh, they're glorious. So do you have a personal favorite mech so far in Tactics?
I like the Stalker because you got enough spots and crit slots on it that you can give it a nice varied loadout. So you can equip yourself for all different ranges and have enough mix of energy weapons and projectile weapons that you're not totally ammo dependent or at risk for constantly overheating.
Very true. Especially if you get one of the rarer versions, they become increasingly customizable as you do. Hooray!
Yay, beta!
Yay, beta! Now, for the purposes of this event, we're just going to skip over the part where we report this to the forums and to support.
Yeah, save a little
Though,
time.
if you are in the closed beta, please do let us know your feedback whenever you encounter these bugs.
I think a stream of me filling out a bug report would probably be a little on the dull side.
Yeah, well, we'll skip on that for today. For extra life. So you should have a request for a match from me.
See it yet, but I'll pop over to the card viewer real quick and come back over to mission control, see if it kicks in.
Yeah. Niko Snow.
Oh, there it is. And you see when you get challenged to a match, it shows you the lance that the other player is going to use, so you can choose one that's, you know, close to the same CV, which should ensure, you know, a relatively fair fight.
Relatively fair. We'll see how that extra 300 works out for me. So for this match I chose our desert map, Triskadillion. Got nice canyons. And to those tuning in who are hoping to grab a beta key, just pop onto the Twitch stream chat. Let me know and I'll drop one down. So earlier we were showing off the freezing map. This one has an interesting dynamic because it's really, really fun for light mechs.
Yeah, and the lances starting split up versus all four together is a nice little twist too, to really make sure you have to think about what you're doing to try and decide if you're going to group up completely or kind of stay separated and see what you can do.
One thing I really enjoy is that we're fully 3D.
Yeah, it's nice as you can spin the map around and check if you think something's blocking you. See if you've got a better line of sight than you really think you do.
So I was always curious, how do you pronounce your username?
Tyrannica.
That's what I figured. Got that, everyone? It's Tyrannica, not Ternica.
With all the differing elevations on this map, jump-capable mechs really have an advantage because they don't have to worry about elevation changes. They can just go.
Exactly. So your heaviest mechs on this map, well, it can be loaded with all of the weapons you need. Might not have the jump jets to get right into the fray as you would like. And meanwhile, my Panther goes whoosh!
purposely using AC2s because nobody likes them. So I'm using them just because I can.
Really love the flavor the dynamic weapon art adds to the game. Your catapults look like they have wings.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about the customization on this, is just how it makes the mechs actually reflect the loadout. This is when it would be handy to have jump jets on that K2, just right over the, get behind them.
I have a feeling the Jaeger mech is gonna give me a bad day. So I see I've knocked out your PPC on the left arm.
Yeah, my K2's not doing very well. Could use a friend or some jump jets to get out of there, one of the two. One of the nice things about these models is if you zoom in on ones that have been hit, they reflect the battle damage. You can see that the arms on my K2 are just incredibly beat up and blackened, and it shows as I zoom in close here, which is, you know, nice little detail.
boy, almost forgot about that. Loaded so many weapons onto my Panther that he's almost... Ooh, he's getting pretty hot. Alright. Turn 9. Looks like I've got the edge this time.
Yeah, you might pull this one off.
movement phase complete. I'm gonna grab another coffee.
I can't believe that K2 hasn't gone boom yet.
Surprised my Panther hasn't gone boom trying to kill him.
How did nothing explode after that? That's crazy.
Random chances.
Oh, he doesn't need one, Kale.
So it seems that the Extra Life website has actually become such a hit that it went down. I'm assuming their team is looking at it.
I'd have to assume so. That's pretty impressive.
That is actually. For them to get that much bandwidth, that much drive.
I know they had a couple of streams up when it first started too, where they were bouncing back and forth between a couple of random streams off of Twitch for people that had the Extra Life in the title. That's still pretty impressive to take down their site.
So to anybody listening, hold on to your wallets. Extra Life hopefully should be back online soon. Yeah. Just confirmed through their Twitter feed. You might get an advantage this round. So you're supposed to be playing MechWarrior Tactics and MechWarrior Online again later on tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Not to mention a few other awesome games.
Yeah, I'm going to do MechWarrior Tactics again around 6 tonight, Denver time, and then go through the time change with MechWarrior Online, because nothing says time change like shoot somebody in the face with PPC.
3:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight for MechWarrior Online's next round.
Yeah.
Roughly. I like how you put it though. Nothing says time change like knocking someone back an hour with a PPC.
best way to do it.
There we go. May Primus have mercy on us all. Or not. There goes my Panther.
Yay, finally something blew up. There it goes. That catapult had to go eventually.
Certainly didn't seem to want to. Good mechs don't die, they go kablooey.
Let's see if we can't get something else to go boom this round.
Some of those animations are epic. The awesome bracing his arm for impact.
Yeah, if we had melee at this point, the awesome would have to pick somebody else up to throw it at you. I'll laugh if the small laser it has left gets a crit and causes you to explode.
It's always something like that. Most powerful weapon misses, and then your smallest weapon does a critical. Always makes you glad to have a machine gun.
I was just going to say, tide's turned. I'm down 2. And then your awesome went and exploded.
Just got the blue awesome left. And my crippled stalker.
After all the abuse both, you know, all these mechs have taken, I'm surprised anything's still standing now.
I just know there's gonna be a couple of really ticked off battle technicians at the end of this. What did you do to your ride?
How does that even happen?
I just painted it! Oh no, the trim!
This is why we can't have nice things.
Because mech warriors happen. This pilot's gotta blow everything up.
And they're just critical hits flying left and right on everything. Oh, nice.
Oh. Oh, could this get any tighter?
And we're both missing a leg.
It's a catapult and a stalker. It's like Battle of Romulus and Remus.
Yeah. Oh, and by the
Ah.
barest of margins.
So close. And with a 300-point lead on my CV count. Terraneka, you truly have proven yourself.
That was a close match. Well played, Niko. Well played.
You too. 29 turns, wow.
Alright. My son is begging me to play Star Wars with him.
Yeah.
So
One last beta key to give out. Bam. So you guys have fun, continue on your mission. I'll be helping out with a few of the Twitch streams of some of the other guys still on online.
thanks again for letting me do this, Niko. I appreciate you guys doing it and giving out the keys and everything.
Anytime. Have fun with the later broadcast too.
I will, and thanks for the keys to give out during that one.
No problem. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too. All right, then for everybody in the stream, I'm gonna stop for a second, get different games switched up, and then I'll get started streaming Star Wars: The Old Republic with my son. So we'll see you guys in just a few minutes.